This is Kamika Backus from Creations by Kamika. My tutorial features a fancy fondant bow using a silicone jeweled mold by Marina Salsa from Marvelous Molds. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. First, to go over the tools that we're going to be using, I have a few luster dusts here. We have avocado and champagne, which I'll show you how to use later. We have some paintbrushes, some lemon extract, leaf cutters, which we're going to be using to make our bow, a circle cutter, the jeweled mold that I was mentioning before, 2 different sizes. These are Marina's molds. We're going to be using a little bit of white sprinkles, of course our cornstarch in our trusty container. We're using a short silicone rolling pin, and also we're going to be using some green fondant and some white, and they are mixed in with a little bit of gum paste as well. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to add a little bit of cornstarch to our area to make sure that it's nice and dry for us to roll our fondant onto. Okay, so we're going to knead a little bit our fondant. We want to make sure it's nice and soft and pliable. Okay, we're going to grab our rolling pin. And we're going to roll that out to just about 1/4 inch thick, no more than that. Just rolling it out a little bit thinner, making sure that it's always moving so that way it doesn't stick to our surface. Okay, that feels about right. Just a little bit more. Okay, so the first things first, we're going to take our round circle cutter. We're going to cut out a circle, which is going to be the base of our bow, and we're going to place it to the side right here on some parchment paper to start to solidify. Then we're going to take the largest of our leaf cutters, and we're going to try to cut out about 5 or 6 of these. With the first one, okay, we'll take it and we're just going to pinch the tips together, and then we're going to place it on our parchment and let it dry, just like that. You can see that, just like that. And then we're going to cut some more. Pinch our tips together. And then we're going to leave it to dry, just to the side. And I'm going to cut out about 5 of these to start. And this is nice and soft, so it sticks together pretty well. Okay. I'm going to re-roll this in case you ever start to make cutouts. You always want to make sure to re-roll and reuse the fondant. You can definitely reuse it. And I'm going to dab just a little bit more cornstarch here just to make sure I don't have anything sticking. Okay, and then we're going to re-roll again. It's 1/4 inch thick. And I only need about 2 cutouts, so we have enough fondant to go around. Okay, and one more just in case. I think 5 will do it, but we'll cut 6 just in case. It's always okay to have a little bit more than a little bit less. Okay. Okay, then we'll take the rest. Whenever you have leftover fondant, you can always save it. So just roll it so it's nice and soft. You knead it again, so the next time you want to use it, you can have it, and then you can store it in a Ziploc bag, and then make sure you just take all the air out of it and close it tight. So we're just going to leave those to the side to dry for the moment, and then we're going to take a little bit of white fondant gum paste mixture, grab our mold, and we're going to dab just a little bit of cornstarch in it, tap out the excess. And we only need just enough to fill the mold. So we're just going to take half of the amount that I started with, and I'm going to slowly start to push it into the mold. Okay, I have a little bit extra there. My hands are a little moist, so I'm going to go and dab it just a little bit with a little bit of cornstarch so I can push it in. And we want to make sure we're pushing it in nice and firm so it fills every cavity on the inside of the mold. So we want to just push it in, push it in, push it in. Okay. Okay. Just like that. Then we're going to take a spatula and we're just going to go right across the top of the mold. We don't want to use a knife because we don't want to cut the mold at the same time. Okay. Great. So that looks good, nice and even all the way around. Okay, and then our white fondant we'll knead and put it back in our Ziploc so we can use it for future occasion. And place that to the side. Okay, so we can put our rolling pin away. Okay, and now to get it out, okay, we're just going to push our fingers to the sides, press the inner part, and just push outward, and it comes out just like this. Okay, so now we're going to get to the decorating. All right, so to start our fancy fondant bow, we're going to start with that circle that we cut out. What we're going to do is we're going to use this as the base to place all the other bow parts that we cut out, to place that onto the circle and then use the jewel and in the inside. So to help it to stick, we're going to take some water. Okay, you can also use piping gel or even corn syrup if you have some, but right now since we're doing it fresh, I can just use a little bit of water. I'll dab a little bit of water around the edges of our circle, which will help to make the fondant bow pieces stick. So I'm going to start by placing them onto the side and just getting them to stick, just making them stick just like that, and then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add another one, press it in nice next to it. Okay, stick another one there. And that's the fourth one. And now number 5. It's the last piece. Okay, if you can see that. Great, so far we've got a nice full bow, and we just want to create a nice center, okay? Now, to enhance the look and texture of it, I'm going to add a little bit of avocado luster dust, okay, just to give it a nice little bit of sheen, just to give it a little bit of something extra, okay, and you don't have to do a lot. I'm using avocado so it can enhance the green and give it a nice gold overtone. And I'm using a nice fluffy brush. Doesn't have to be a fancy brush. Can be one from your local art store. Okay, just one with soft bristles. Okay, we want nice soft bristles, and we want to paint around as much as possible. And of course, you can always go over another coat if you like. Okay, great. Just want to fluff these up just a little bit. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move that to the side. And now we're going to pay a little bit of attention to our jewel, our crown jewel. So what I'd like to do is take the jewel and give it a metallic sheen. So we're going to use champagne, okay? It's a little bit of champagne luster dust here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a little bit of lemon extract, okay? And you can also use vodka as well, or any kind of grain alcohol. You can use that to create a nice paste to create the metallic sheen. It's really nice when you do it wet. So what you do is you start by sprinkling just a little bit of luster dust on a plate, or even an plastic artist palette if you have it. And you start with a little bit of extract. It's not too much, otherwise you don't want it to evaporate. So a drop or two, couple drops there, and we'll keep that close to the side. Okay, and then we're just going to mix it in, and we just kind of want it mix it in as much until it forms a little bit of a paste. You can see I'm just kind of merging the two together. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit more luster dust. So we want to create a nice paste. So just like that. Okay, and with the paste, we're going to take our jewel and we're going to start to fill in the color all over. Okay, and we're just going to continue adding more color. And painting our jewel, filling in all the crevices all the way around. Oops. So all the way around the sides. And I'm using a slightly large brush, but you can definitely use something smaller. All right, so we just want to fill in all the crevices, and here we have our finished jewel. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our bow. Okay, and we can just go ahead and dab a little water. I'll use the same brush here since you're not really going to see it underneath here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our jewel and we're going to place it right in the center. Great. So that's our jewel, our fancy bow. A close up here, okay? And then just to jazz it up a little bit of a notch, I'm going to take a little bit of sprinkles and arrange them just right around the bow, just for a little added touch. Okay, so I'm going to put one right here.